Taylorville schools are A+. Our new Fine Arts Center is moving forward, bringing big opportunities for our kids and our community. Learn more at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and go Tornadoes.
WTIM. You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and my next guest this morning is Sasha Young, the superintendent of Central A&M Schools. And Sasha, thanks for coming on this morning.
Absolutely. Good morning, Reed. Nice to be here.
No, good morning. It is good to have you on. Good to talk to you, and very timely to talk with you, because there's a lot of exciting things going on at Central A&M Schools. I know it's exciting times for a couple of track stars who are going to the state track meet, and I understand you've got the names of those participants.
I do. So some of our girls qualified for the state competition at Eastern tomorrow. We have 4 high school girls who have qualified. Our boys haven't had their sectional meet to qualify yet. So right now, tomorrow, we are sending a group of 4 girls. We have Kira Lutz, Emma West, Chloe Crabtree, and Jessie Nielsen headed out to represent Central A&M Raiders at the state track meet tomorrow. This last weekend, we actually had 5 middle school kids compete at a state track event. I believe it was in the Peoria area. So we had Max Baker, Merritt Cochran, Cruz Higgins. We had Harlow Bourne, and they did amazingly well. We had some 6th place trophies. We had a 3rd place trophy, and another 3rd place trophy. So we've had a fantastic track season, both middle school and high school this year. So that's exciting.
No, that's great. And congratulations to you folks on that. I think the boys have their sectional, I think it actually starts today and then runs over the next couple days, if I saw that correctly on the IHSA website. But no, that's really good, good for them. Yeah. Okay. Confirmation there. So I'm glad I got that. And then from your perspective, what does it mean kind of for the schools, for the district to see this kind of success in track or just, in sports in general?
I just think it's a great way to celebrate, our kids, and track and field is an interesting sport because it can be an individual celebration or it can be a team celebration, right? So we have both of those. We had both at middle school where it was a team event and where it was an individual event like high jump. The same thing is happening tomorrow with our girls at EIU. So it's nice. Track and field is fantastic because it can be both individualized and team. And even if it's an individual competitor that goes to state, the team goes to support. So it's great.
No, I love that. And from watching this kind of thing, watching, world athletics events like the Diamond League, no, it's great to see, great to kind of follow it, and just kind of see how it goes down. So, obviously a lot going on with track and with softball at such times as tonight, of course, with that regional playoff semifinal that I know a thing or two about. So yeah, great things going on with Central A&M athletics. And then in the classroom as well, I understand you've got a couple of new hires in the district, and I'd love to hear a little more about them.
I do. So we, at our board meeting this past Monday night, we hired Grace McClellan for our art teacher for this upcoming fall. She will be teaching art for grades K through 8. We have art as an elective at our middle school, so Grace will be joining us. She comes to us from Monticello, actually, and has a year under her belt, but we're excited to have Grace join our school community. She is very excited about the creativity and the freedom that comes with art and bringing those fine arts skills to some of our youngest learners all the way up to middle school. So it's a very exciting hire. We've also hired Kaylee Zaradka, who was a PANA graduate, as a 5th grade teacher for this next fall. We have 2 fifth grade teachers currently, and we're adding a third section. And so Kaylee's going to step in and be the teacher for that third section.
Okay, so a couple new
Yep.
hires there. One of them in art. It sounds like for grades K through 8. So it sounds like that's for, I guess, the elementary and the middle school.
Correct. Yep. She will have one of our shared positions and will commute between the 2 locations between Assumption and Moweaqua to do that. That's how our art for K-8 has operated for the past several years. And so Grace will be one of those on the road teachers part of her day, trying to accommodate all of our elementary kids plus an elective at our middle school. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So so a lot of driving there, and then yeah, obviously the art going on in the classroom. I'm curious, maybe
Yeah.
I don't know how much you're aware about how much how much or in what ways the art curriculum in, like, the K through 8 level, or perhaps beyond, if has kind of evolved, in the last, whether it's the last few years or the last 10 years. Anything you have to share on that?
Yeah, I think just like any other content area, I think it evolves rapidly. There's more technology brought in to the art curriculum and content than there was probably when we went to elementary school. There's also a big focus on in the fine arts on the individuality of the student. So there's opportunity for every kid in the classroom to come up with a different project, thinking about where they're at in their life, what they want to focus on. So there's a lot of freedom in fine arts, and there's a lot of change. I believe like it's just as rapid as any other content area that you teach. But I would say mostly a push for different mediums, a push for maybe more technology. I know at our high school level, we have like a 3D printer. Some of our high school art students are working on creating things on that printer. So yeah, it's a variety, just like anything else that you teach in school.
Involving technology in that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I never had that back when I took art class. So that is super cool to hear about that. And that's why I was curious as you were talking about the new art teacher, and you kind of have that change over there. So yeah, new hires coming in. I know tomorrow you're going to be involved, or the school district will be involved in the end of year breakfast. Talk a little bit about what that's about, and what else besides obviously breakfast will be going on there.
Sure. So this is my third end of year that I get to celebrate all of our teachers. We usually host a district-wide breakfast, and during that breakfast celebration, we elect to celebrate our retirees. We have one this year who's retiring. And then I also like to do what I call milestone achievements. So I give a little something to teachers when they hit the 15, 20, 25, 30, sometimes 35 year of service to our district. So it's always just nice to celebrate all the hard work that our teachers provide for students throughout the year. So it's just a celebration. It's an end of year celebration because we've obviously completed another school year, but we celebrate individuals too, as far as lifetime or milestone kind of things, and retirees. It's a way I think that the district can just say thank you.
No, I love that. Just getting to kind of celebrate all that, because a school year feels like a long time, a lot of hard work, and then you're getting to celebrate all of that tomorrow. It sounds like in the end of year breakfast. You mentioned you have like awards or recognitions of some of those later milestones. If you're able to share, is anyone going to be receiving one of those tomorrow?
Yes, I actually will be giving out 3 milestones tomorrow. Yep. I have a 20 and 2 30s to give out tomorrow.
Wow, that's long time at the Central A&M School District. So yeah, congratulations.
And what I give them is nothing huge, nothing massively special, but it's just a little thank you. We see that you've given us 20 years. Here you go. Kind of thing. But it's nice to just be honored in front of your colleagues and peers. So
no, it definitely is. And, for like a small school district where, you don't have, you don't have as many people as like a larger school district, obviously,
right.
what does it mean to have like, people there for, 20 or 30 years or, obviously even longer than that?
I think it just shows dedication, right? Dedication and the fact that you love where you are. You're dedicated to the students. You're dedicated to the community. You are essentially giving 20 or 30 years of your life to these families, and you're seeing multiple generations. When you've been here 30 years, you've probably taught at least two generations of the families that have been here. You may have had mom, and then now you've also had mom's kids because they've stuck around. And so I think it just shows the dedication to the students and the families in our community, and the fact that you feel like this is a great place to be, which we all know, right? But yeah, it's quite a commitment when you've been here that long.
That is just wonderful to hear about, and I look forward to for you folks tomorrow at that end of year breakfast, again happening tomorrow morning. Sasha Young, the superintendent of Central A&M Schools, joins us in this part of the WTIM morning show. Let's take a break because we're going to talk about a book study that she's involved in. On the other side of this break, might also bring in another one or two topics as well here on the WTIM morning show on your information station. Back after this break.
Your information station, WTIM.
When it comes to connecting with America's farmers and ranchers, nothing beats the authentic voice of Ag Radio. Farm broadcasters have been the voice of rural America since 1944, building trusted relationships with agricultural producers across generations. Today, the network of over 140 Ag radio stations reaches farmers and ranchers during their most productive hours when they're actively working their operations and making business decisions. What makes Ag Radio uniquely effective? Farmers listen to farm broadcasters for information that directly impacts their livelihood. When your message is delivered alongside crucial weather updates, market reports, and agricultural news, it receives the same attention and credibility. Farm Radio Connects offers agricultural advertisers targeted access to this engaged audience through professionals who understand both broadcasting and agriculture. According to the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, 78% of farmers consider information from farm broadcasters highly trustworthy. When you need to reach rural America effectively, choose the voices they already trust. Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and discover how Ag Radio can elevate your agricultural marketing strategy.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Chip Flory. We join you weekday mornings from 10 to 11 on WTIM on AM and FM and on the WTIM streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on your Ag Information Station, WTIM.
When you need cardiology care in the Decatur area, your heart deserves more. At Memorial Specialty Care, we are continuing to invest, expanding and enhancing our team to bring more expertise to the area. From specialists who use advanced imaging and technology for diagnosis and testing, to doctors who are skilled in the latest treatments, we are making sure you get more of the heart services you deserve close to home. Tell your referring physician you want your heart cared for at Memorial Specialty Care in Decatur.
Get ready for an action-packed week at the 2026 Christian County Fair, July 21st through 25th in Taylorville, Illinois. Come out for all the fair excitement. Friday night, July 24th. It's not one, but two country superstars in the grandstand featuring country sensation Gary Allen.
Nothing on but the radio.
And special guest Mark Chestnut.
I'm going through the big thing and don't mean Dallas.
For a complete fair schedule and to get your tickets now, go to thechristiancountyfair.com.
If you're looking for music that stood the test of time, join me, Randy Miller, Sunday mornings from 6 to 8 on 96.5thechill.com. I host Steady Ground Replay, a 2-hour journey back to the roots of contemporary Christian music. From the songs that started a movement to the hits that formed our foundation, it's 2 hours of timeless encouragement. Steady Ground Replay, standing on the music that built our faith. Sunday morning, 6 to 8 on 96.5thechill.com.
And we're back on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. It's sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and I continue my conversation with Sasha Young, the superintendent of Central A&M Schools. And we were talking at the start of the interview about some competitors in the estate track meet. Sounds like actually one student did not get mentioned at first, and I want to give you the opportunity to shout that student out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I made a mistake, and while looking at my notes while we were talking, I was remiss and forgot to mention a student. So our let's see, our 4x200 got third in state, and those students were Max Baker, Merritt Cochran, Cruz Higgins, and Liam Rhodes. I accidentally left Liam. He was off the side of my paper, so I think I forgot to mention him. So I just wanted to make sure that we shout out to Liam, because he was just as important in that 4x200 as the other kiddos I mentioned. So yeah, it was great. Thank you for letting me fix my error. I appreciate it.
No, sure thing. Hey, I've been left out of lists too, so I'm not letting that happen to anyone else. So yeah, glad
totally accidental.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to correct.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure thing. So we got that rectified. I do want to talk about this book study that you're going to be involved in. It sounds like it's starting up in the fall, and it's about a topic that is very relevant to kids these days. At least I think it's very relevant, and I'll let you explain a little more to our listeners, as we've got about 3.5 minutes left.
Okay, so last fall I did a book study with a group of superintendents on a book called The Anxious Generation. It's by Jonathan Haidt, and I'll do that with some of our faculty. It's a voluntary book study, but the book study is going to go over the book about how smartphones, social media, and the decline of play-based childhood, and how it's kind of connected to some of the things we're seeing with our students, like anxiety, depression, and mental health concerns with our kids and our teens. Jonathan Haidt does a really good job of comparing what childhood was like pre-2010 and what it's been post-2010, which, if you know anything about the 2010s, it's kind of when the iPhone and the tablets kind of became a big deal. And so he just makes some scientific connections with technology and its use, or potentially overuse, and how that impacts children as a whole. My idea is that we just go over this book together. We kind of open our eyes and maybe, look at how we're using technology as a school district, and if there's anything we need to change or adjust based on potential new information we're learning. So I'm hopeful it's just going to be a learning opportunity for us as a staff to see what we can take from it, what we can learn from it, and how we can maybe apply it to some of the things we do here in the district.
No, that's super fascinating, and it sounds like you folks are trying to make use of that as well in terms of how things are run at the school. I think a lot about how technology has kind of gotten into our lives, and one thing that I have kind of neglected to think about, and maybe this is true for certain listeners as well, is that you have the increase in technology usage, and then it sounds like there's also the decrease in the physical play, and I think that's just another fascinating part of this whole thing.
Right. And is it connected? Right. There's a chance it's not, but if it is, are we giving it its due diligence to see if it is connected? Is there something we can do differently? Raising kids in such a technology driven world, you feel like you want to prepare them to use that technology appropriately. But while doing that, are we also taking away some of those opportunities that are just naturally learned by playing with each other, by visiting parks, by being bored? Those are some of the things that I hope we can have conversations about and learn from and grow from.
Yeah, and it sounds like you folks are trying to do that from the book study as well. Now, you said is this going to start in the fall, or are you going to maybe get the results in the fall? With 30 seconds to go,
we're gonna start as a staff working in this fall on this book study, with the idea that we will have the book study completed by Christmas. So it would just be a fall semester thing. Like I said, voluntary for staff to be involved, just kind of opening our minds, seeing what we can learn. And then if there are things we want to change, things we want to do differently, we can do that in the spring.
Yeah, no,
start making.
I can't wait to hear about that. Sasha Young, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. President Trump has a lot to celebrate in the outcome of yesterday's primaries in a handful of states. Trump-endorsed candidates did well, including in Kentucky, where Ed Galrine defeated incumbent Congressman Thomas Massey in the GOP primary. Less than a week after the president visited China, Russia's Vladimir Putin is in Beijing for talks with Chinese President Xi. Moscow and Beijing have grown closer economically and otherwise since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Taiwan's president says that if given the chance, he would tell President Trump that continued purchases of American arms by Taiwan are essential